the woman in the trunk, also known as the St. Petersburg Doe, identified as Sylvia Atherton. This story starts on October 31st, 1969, in an area that then housed a business known as the Oyster Bar, located at 4200 34th Street South in St. Petersburg, Florida. It was there that a woman was found who had likely been there for about 2 or 3 days. She had short brown hair, which was about 8 inches in length, and she used bobby pins to fix her hair. They also noted there was a mole on her left cheek and that she had brown eyes. They believed her to be about 25 to 35, saying she also had a small partial upper plate that covered 4 missing teeth. They also noted that she'd had her wisdom teeth removed. She had given birth to at least 1 child, but they don't believe that was recent. She also had a mild gallbladder disorder, which, for the 20 million of us without our gallbladders, we can attest is pretty normal. It is often, however, pretty painful if you have gallstones, so she may have been in pain. She had 3 small, hairless moles in total, no tattoos, and no scars. She also did not have pierced ears. She was probably around 5'9", or 175 centimeters, weighing about 130 pounds or 58 kilograms. They were able to get DNA and fingerprints, but it led nowhere. One weird aspect was that she was wearing a green shorty-type nightgown with a floral design and lace at the top. Originally, this made me think someone grabbed her from her home or a hotel, wherever she was staying, because she certainly wasn't running around town in this. However, there is more to support that this happened at her home, likely as she had readied for bed. She was found inside of a trunk that was manufactured by the Non-Breakable Trunk Company, and she'd been asphyxiated by 20-inch red bolo tie cord, and she had suffered several blows to her head. The parking lot the trunk was found in was pretty busy, so it's possible that because it was locked, people couldn't open it and they just left it alone. They tried running DNA suitable for genetic genealogy, but they kept hitting walls. Her teeth and her bone samples were degraded. This just highlights how great some of the technology has gotten, because a lot of the DNA had hit brick walls in the past. But in this case, there was a stroke of luck, and the detective discovered some evidence in a box that included a sample of her hair. This is what led to her DNA profile and name, so a huge thanks should go out to Detective Wally Pavelski. And with this, Sylvia Atherton once again had her name. We now know that Sylvia June Atherton was 41 when she went missing from Tucson, Arizona. It was very odd. Something major had to have happened. She wasn't a transient. She wasn't likely to leave home. It was very atypical. And she had 5 kids at home who were counting on her. The assistant police chief went on to say, "This is where we're asking for assistance to kind of put the pieces together and the gaps together. We do know that this trunk was their property. We do know that she was remarried, and we know that her husband at the time passed away in 1999. But up until that time, he never listed her as missing. We know that he never listed her on any bankruptcy records. While he doesn't specifically say it, it sounds like the man had filed for bankruptcy in the past. So it's very shady that Sylvia wasn't reported missing. And while she was found in 1969, it appears she went missing in 1965. So where she was in those middle years is unknown. Her daughter did identify the trunk as definitely having belonged to her mother. Her daughter, Cylin, is thankful that she finally knows what happened to her mother. According to one article, Sylvia left Arizona with her husband, Stuart Brown. It appears that at the time she had a 5-year-old daughter who went to live in Chicago along with an adult daughter named Kimberly, as well as her adult son named Gary. Another adult daughter named Donna and Donna's husband, David Lyndhurst, also appeared to live there. At the time, she had a 9-year-old daughter named Cylin and an 11-year-old son, and those two went to live with their father from a previous marriage. Her daughter Cylin would say it's such a relief to know what had happened to her mom. But there's more concern to be had. She went on to explain that she had a sister and a niece who are missing. Some of the ages are a little mixed up from article to article, so I'm not quite sure. They may have been aged 5 and 20 in 1965, which would make them 63 and 77 today. Though some articles list the sister as 20 and say that this was in 1969. So take this with a grain of salt. They could be 59 and 73 perhaps, but honestly somewhere in the zone of those years. The child mentioned was either 3 or 5 depending on where it's written. The 19-year-old daughter who's missing was named Donna Lyndhurst, and it's believed she went to Arizona eventually to live with her husband David. She and her daughter weren't heard from again by the rest of the family. The sister last left a message with a grandparent in 1969, calling because she believed her brother had been killed in the Vietnam War, but this call was the last time anyone heard from her. If anyone has any information on both Sylvia's case or that of the missing sister and her daughter, please call the number on your screen. Sylvia June Atherton was missing for 57 years and went unidentified for 53. Donna and Kimberly Lyndhurst have been missing for 53 years. If you are at all interested in helping crowdfund John and Jane Doe cases, I've provided links to the DNA Doe Project and DNA Solves below. Both of those allow you to pick the cases you help fund. The Franklin County John Doe, identified as Chow Chan. This story begins on September 20th, 1992, in Franklin County, Ohio. A couple went fishing and instead found a man along Big Darby Creek in the vicinity of the 700 block of Lockbourne Road. They believed he was Asian and that the COD was a GS wound. The problem being back in 1992 and 1993 that while DNA was known and it was used, it wasn't what we know today. At the time, they were just first developing the ability to obtain a profile, and at the time when they tried to get one, it failed. They determined him to be around 4'11" to 5'3" tall, or 150 to 160 centimeters. They knew he was wearing both a gold chain and a braided nylon lanyard, and it was that lanyard that had a green stone disc and a pear-shaped medallion. The medallion itself had a painting of Asian women on it. They'd hoped someone would recognize this as it's unusual, but that didn't happen. So not only did the person who did this get away with it, they managed to hide the identity of the man whose life he or she took. We know now that Chow Chan was 19 when he went missing in 1992, and he went missing from New York. This means he was found 556 miles or 895 kilometers away from where he went missing. Genetic genealogy was able to locate first his brother and then his parents, and this one was crowdfunded for the cost. I'd like to be able to share more of Chow's story, but so far it's not showing up. If anything else does, it will appear as an editor's note. Chow Chan went unidentified for 30 years. Had he lived the life he deserved, he would be 49 years old today. Huge thanks for watching all the way to the end, and a big thanks to all of you who consistently like and comment on the videos. Whether you leave a full comment or an emoji, it makes a huge difference. So if you consistently watch my videos, maybe take a moment to subscribe. It's a huge push toward the videos being suggested to new people. The next goal is 20,000. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other.